Well, hi everyone, my name's Adam, and I'm starting a YouTube channel. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for a very long time, and I've even experimented with it before. But when trying to start this channel and thinking up what my first video should be, I just kind of was doing a bunch of thinking. I was taking notes, I was writing things down, I was watching other YouTube videos, I was looking at what other YouTube creators had done for their first video, and I was just doing pretty much everything except actually starting. And what I realized I needed to do was just start, even if I don't know exactly the way I want this channel to go. Because what I've started to realize about life is it's very hard to just think your way through problems. What you have to do is actually work your way through problems. When you're just thinking, you're not really getting feedback for what's working and what isn't, so you're missing a big portion of this equation, which is how to get yourself to the next step, how to get yourself to where you want to be. And so for me, filming this first video is about just starting so I can actually figure out what this channel is about. And I'm really excited to do that. And although I don't know everything, I do know a few things. The few things that I know is, one, I love creating. Like, I've always had projects, I'm always creating things. And video is my favorite creative medium. When I was a little kid, my brother, my cousins, and my dad and I all used to film these home movies. And these home movies were like full-on action movies. As action movie as it can get when it's a bunch of little grade schoolers running around in their backyard pretending to be someone else. But that's where I really got started with video, was when I was a little kid. And the funny thing about that was, when I was little and my dad was filming us all in the backyard, running around, all of those little individual clips that we were filming, they just didn't make a lot of sense, because when we were kids, we didn't really have a concept of what made for a great story. You know, with a beginning, a middle, an end, and conflict and all the rest. We just kind of wanted to film things. But the coolest thing for me was, after we'd filmed these little feature-length pictures, not actually feature-length, they were like 5 minutes, but it felt feature-length when I was a really small kid. When we'd film these, my favorite part of it was actually taking those clips, which altogether didn't make a ton of sense because we didn't really understand how story worked. We didn't really understand how a beginning and a middle and an end worked, and that, you know, stories need conflict. We just had a bunch of clips when we were finished. And my favorite part was actually going back and editing those clips together with my dad. And we would sit down in the basement of the Kalamazoo College art building, because that was the one place that had editing software that we could actually edit these videos with. And it was so early that not everybody had editing software on their computer. And we would slowly put all of these clips, which all by themselves didn't make just a ton of sense, together into a cohesive story that actually did. And I think that's my favorite thing about video creation. It's that it gives you the ability to put together a bunch of clips which by themselves maybe don't make a bunch of sense, but when you put them together, they do. And I think in our lives, we have all of these little clips. We have those dinners with friends. We have that conflict with someone we really care about. We have finally doing that thing we've always wanted to do. And then we have those setbacks, that job that you didn't get, or that you got let go of, or that thing that you just really wanted to have happen, but it didn't. And when you look at all these little clips individually, sometimes they don't make a bunch of sense. And I think the coolest thing about video is it gives us the opportunity to make sense of all of the different clips that make up our lives, or at least a few of them. And so that's why I really want to start this project. I want to start this project to put a lens to my life, to make a little bit more sense of it, and then hopefully, by making sense of those things in the form of story, create something that you, as a viewer, can take something away from. And although I don't know exactly what those stories are gonna look like and what all these videos are gonna be about, I do have a few ideas. I'm constantly working on improving myself and trying to be a better version of me for me and my friends and my family and everyone else. That includes, working on health and working on personal finance. That includes things like just trying to get better sleep, and also just trying to have more fun and be a little bit happier sometime. And I think that if I could share some of those tips with all of you, maybe you could learn something and we could all learn together. So we'll see. I don't know exactly how it's all gonna go. I think if I did know exactly how it was all gonna go, I probably wouldn't get started. I would just do something else, because to me, half of life is the adventure of showing up and not knowing. So if you're interested in going on this adventure with me, please follow along. You could subscribe, you could like this. That's good for the YouTube algorithm. At least that's what the other creators say. I'm sure it is. And I'd love to see you on the next video, or in the comments, or hear from you. Catch you later.